My beloved child, there have been moments, quiet, invisible moments, where your heart whispered, I don't think anyone truly sees me. Not just a version of you that smiles in public, but the part that aches in silence, the part that stays up late wondering, am I really alone in this? And I want you to know, you have never been alone, not for one moment. I was there the day they walked away. I stood beside you in the silence that followed their absence. I held you when you cried in places no one else knew about, when the room felt empty, when your phone stayed silent, when your prayers seemed to echo back without answer. I was closer than your breath. You may not have felt me. The pain may have been louder than my whisper. But child, I was not absent. I was holding you through every breathless moment. I don't promise a life without storms, but I do promise my presence within them. Not a distant presence, but a God who walks with you into hospital rooms, into sleepless nights, into courtrooms, classrooms, empty kitchens, and lonely cars. I go where you go. The world may not have space for your quiet ache, but I do. And not only do I make space for it, I stay there with you. You may have been rejected by people, but you have always been received by me. You may have been unseen by the crowd, but you have always been held by the shepherd. So no, child, you are not alone. You never were, and you never will be. My child, I saw the moment when you gave your best, and they still left. I watched as you stayed loyal, while others grew distant. I heard the goodbyes that came without explanation, and I felt the way your heart sank. When someone you trusted slowly faded away, you asked yourself what you did wrong. You questioned your worth. You replayed conversations, hoping to find a moment where it all changed. But I want to speak something gently over your soul. People may walk away, but I do not. I am not here for convenience. I'm not invested only when life is good. I don't pull away when you're messy or when your heart is full of questions. I stay because I didn't come for your perfection. I came for you. Even when others stopped checking in, stopped reaching out, stopped responding, I'm still listening, still watching, still present, not as a silent observer, but as the one who grieves with you and stands by you through the echo of their absence. You were not created to be abandoned. You were created to be held. And I, your Lord, have never let go. Let the memory of their departure become a doorway to something deeper, the awareness of my constant presence. I will not leave when you cry. I will not grow tired of your pain. I will not get bored of your story. You are not a burden to me. You are my beloved. So when it feels like no one stayed, remember, I never left. Not for a moment. Not even when you thought you were too broken to be loved. My child, there were days when you didn't want to get out of bed, when the weight on your chest felt heavier than the world could ever know, when smiles became masks and silence became your language. The world kept moving, but you felt frozen in place, drowning in an ache that had no name. You looked around and saw no one. You called out in your soul, but no one answered. Even your own prayers felt like whispers lost in the wind. But here is the truth I need you to know. I was there, not just near, but right beside you. I was in the stillness. I was in the breath that kept you going. I was in the tears you cried when no one else noticed. I was the one holding your soul together when you felt like falling apart. I didn't wait until the darkness passed to arrive. I entered it with you. I sat in the shadows so you wouldn't have to face them alone. I lit small lamps of grace along your path. A kind word, a gentle breeze, a verse that pierced the fog. Each one a whisper from me saying, I'm still here. I see you. I'm not going anywhere. Even when you couldn't feel me, I was surrounding you. Even when you were angry, silent, numb, I stayed, because my love is not based on your strength, but on my promise. And my promise is this: you will never face the dark without me. Not yesterday, not today, not ever. My beloved child, There are times when loneliness feels like your name, when the silence around you feels louder than the love within you, when people pass you by and you wonder if you're invisible, if your life, your heart, your presence truly matters. And in those moments, the enemy whispers lies. You are forgettable, replaceable, unseen. But I speak a different word, one that's deeper than emotion, louder than silence, truer than what you feel. You are not defined by loneliness. You are defined by me. I am the one who formed you in your mother's womb. I am the one who called you by name before the world ever did. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not the someone who stayed or who left. You are mine. Your name is written in the palm of my hand. Your identity is not rooted in how others treat you. It is rooted in my eternal love for you. Loneliness may visit, but it does not get to stay. It is not your identity. It is not your destiny. It is not the final word. I am, and I call you, cherished, chosen, child of light, bearer of hope, vessel of grace. So lift your head, look beyond the emptiness, and into my eyes. I see you, I know you, and I love you, not from afar, but right here, close enough to hold your heart in my hands. Let this truth sink in. The world doesn't get to name you. I already have. My beloved, I've seen you lying low, not just in posture, but in spirit. You've knelt in defeat, not because you lacked strength, but because life took so much from you, piece by piece. Confidence, joy, hope, gone like scattered leaves in the wind. You thought, maybe this is just who I am now. Tired, fragile, forgotten. But child, I didn't come just to comfort you on the ground. I came to lift you up. Yes, I sit with you in the sorrow. Yes, I hold you when the tears fall. But I also place my hand beneath you and whisper, rise. Not in your own strength, but in mine. Not with forced smiles, but with a heart rebuilt by grace. Not pretending the pain never happened, but rising because love is deeper than pain. I never called you to live beneath the weight of despair. I called you to walk in freedom. Even now, my spirit is awakening something in you, a flicker of strength, a quiet boldness, not the kind that shouts, but the kind that stands, even after the storm. You are not meant to merely survive. You were created to carry light. So let me lift you. Let me speak life back into your dry bones. Let me remind you that your best days are not behind you. They are still unfolding. You may have been pressed down, but you are not crushed. You may have fallen, but you are not finished. Get up, child. You are still chosen. You are still called. You are still mine. My child, you've looked ahead and felt uncertainty. You've stood at the edge of new seasons and wondered if you were ready. You've asked questions you dared not say out loud. What if I fail? What if I walk alone? What if I don't know the way? But listen closely to my voice, a voice that does not demand, but gently reassures. You are not walking into the unknown. You are walking into what I have already prepared. I've gone before you, not just into your future, but into your fears. I've stepped into every room you will enter. I've already stood in every challenge you'll face. And I didn't just look around. I made a way. I leveled mountains that once seemed impossible. I parted seas of uncertainty. I cleared paths that looked overgrown with doubt. Not always the way you expected, but always with care, always with love. You are not chasing hope in the dark. You are following light. You don't need to see the whole map. You only need to take the next step. And I will be there, in the quiet hallway, in the unplanned detour, in the prayer answered differently than you imagined. I know where I'm leading you, and though it may feel unfamiliar, you are not alone. I am not waiting at the end. I am walking beside you now, and I'm already in tomorrow, making sure it's filled with grace. So don't be afraid. Don't let what you can't see keep you from what I promised. Just follow me, step by step. I'll lead you home, My child, you watch people shift like shadows. Friends fade, seasons end, and things you once counted on begin to crumble. You've asked yourself, what can I actually trust? What is real? What stays? Because in a world where so much moves, where promises are often broken, and hearts grow distant, you long for something, someone who remains. Let me be that one. I do not change. I do not leave. I do not forget. You've seen the highs and lows, the closeness, then the distance, the affection, then the absence. But I do not grow cold. My love is not seasonal. My presence is not conditional. When you feel pushed aside, I draw you in. When the world says you're too much or not enough, I say, you are mine. You do not have to earn my loyalty. You already have it. You do not have to prove yourself worthy. I prove your worth on the cross. And though the people around you may come and go, though the news may shift daily, though the ground beneath your feet may shake, I remain the same yesterday, today, and forever. Let your soul find rest here, in the consistency of my heart, in the steadiness of my hand, in the rock-solid truth that you are deeply loved, and that love will not change, no matter what else does. My child, there have been moments when you felt no one was listening. You typed messages and deleted them. You rehearsed conversations in your head, but never said them aloud. You sat in silence, surrounded by people, but still felt unheard, unseen. And I want you to know, you were never talking to the air. Even your sighs were heard. Even your unspoken tears spoke volumes to me. I do not require perfect words. I am not impressed by rehearsed speeches. What I long for is simple. Your voice, your truth, your heart, honest and open. You can talk to me when you're confused, when you're angry, when you feel ashamed, when you don't even know what to say. You don't need to fix your tone. You don't need to filter your pain. Just come, whisper, cry, yell if you must. I am not fragile, but you are, and I want to carry that fragility with you. You don't need a special place. You don't need a special moment. I'm in the kitchen, in the car, in the waiting room, in the middle of your night. Every place becomes sacred when you invite me into it. You are not too complicated for me. Your thoughts are not too tangled. I can handle your questions, your doubts, your silence. I'm not asking for polish. I'm asking for presence. Yours. So speak, child, whenever you're ready. Even now, say anything. Say nothing. Just know, I'm already here listening. My child, there are places you've walked through, not just in the world, but inside your heart, that felt too dark to be seen, too shameful to be visited, too tangled to be understood. You've asked, if God really knew this part of me, would he still want me? And my answer, child, is simple and sure. Yes, I see you. I still want you. I will never turn away. There is no darkness that my light cannot enter, no pit too deep, no shame too thick, no fear too loud. I do not need you to pretend the shadows aren't there. I walk into them with you, not because I'm unaware, but because I'm unwilling to leave you there alone. The parts of you you've tried to hide, I've already seen them, and I stayed. The thoughts you buried because they felt too messy, I understand them, and I still call you mine. You see the cracks and want to cover them. I see the cracks and want to fill them with grace. You see a failure. I see a story still being written. You see a heart that's too far gone. I see a heart that's ready for healing. So do not run from me in the dark. That's when you need me most. I am not afraid of the places you avoid. I enter them first, with mercy, not judgment, because I never needed you to be perfect. I just wanted you close. And even now, in the place you thought I'd never find you, I am here, and I'm not leaving. My child, you've worn loneliness like a quiet cloak, not by choice, but by survival. You've smiled when you felt empty. You've shown up when you wanted to disappear. and you've carried your own soul. While wondering if anyone even noticed, you thought your solitude was punishment, that maybe you were forgotten, left behind, no longer useful. But let me speak this truth into the depths of your ache. Your loneliness is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of something sacred. When everything else faded, you looked inward, and there, beneath the noise, beneath the disappointment, beneath the silence, you found me. I did not cause your loneliness, but I will use it. I will meet you in it. I will whisper in ways you could not hear when the room was full. This quiet space, though painful, has become holy, not because it was easy, but because it made space for encounter. Others may have walked away, but I walked in, and in the silence, you are learning to hear me again, not in thunder, but in whisper. I'm not here to rush you out of the lonely place, but to walk with you through it, because here you are learning something deeper, that my presence is not dependent on how full a room is, but on how open your heart is. And yours, though broken, is open. So no, this is not the end. This is the holy beginning, and I am with you in every step forward. My beloved, you've spent so long trying to be strong, for your family, for your friends, for everyone around you. You've held yourself together when everything inside you wanted to fall apart. You've smiled when your heart was breaking. You've said, I'm fine, when you were anything but hear me now. You don't have to carry this weight alone. You don't have to be strong all the time. I never asked you to pretend. I never required you to hide your tears. I never told you that being faithful meant being flawless. In fact, it's in your weakness that my strength shines brightest. I'm not disappointed when you collapse into my arms. I'm not surprised when you say, I can't do this anymore. I already knew. That's why I'm here. I don't admire your mask. I cherish your honesty. I don't need your perfection. I respond to your surrender. You think being strong means holding it all together. But real strength is knowing when to let go, when to say, God, I can't, but you can. So let me carry you. Let me be the one who holds up your arms when you're tired. Let me whisper peace into the corners of your heart that ache from trying too hard. You are not failing because you're tired. You are not less holy because you're struggling. You are human, and I am God, and I delight in being your strength. So breathe, weep, rest. You are safe here, and you are strongest when you lean on me. My child, there have been seasons when you prayed and heard nothing. You reached out with trembling faith, and the heavens seemed still. You listened for my voice, but only heard your own heartbeat echoing in the silence. And in that silence, you wondered, have I done something wrong? Has God gone quiet because I failed? Why can't I hear him? But hear this now, and let it settle in your soul. My silence is not absence. My stillness is not abandonment. Just as seeds grow hidden beneath the soil, just as a sunrise begins long before it breaks the horizon, I often work deepest when all seems quiet. Sometimes I withhold words, not because I am distant, but because I am building something within you. Trust, dependence, depth, stability that doesn't rely on constant signs, but on steady faith. The silence invites you to lean in, to know me not by noise, but by nearness. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. You're not being ignored. You're being drawn deeper. I know the ache you feel when I seem quiet, but I'm still here, still watching, still working. In fact, some of my greatest miracles begin in the silence, when you are most still and I am most sovereign. So don't mistake this quiet for absence. Don't let the silence feed your fear. Instead, let it stretch your trust. Let it draw you closer. Because in time, the silence will break, and you will hear my voice again, louder than before, sweeter than ever. And you'll realize I was speaking all along, just in a different way. My beloved child, you've been carrying more than you realize. Burdens you didn't ask for, fears you didn't speak aloud, spiritual battles that left you exhausted, even when nothing seemed to be happening on the surface. But let me tell you something holy, something most people miss in the noise of this world. I am fighting for you, even when you don't see it, even when you don't feel it, even when you have no idea how close the danger came, and how I held it back. There are battles you'll never know about, because I already won them before they reached you. When you were sleeping, I was standing guard. When you were questioning, I was silencing the lies. When you were doubting, I was surrounding you with angels, placing a shield around your mind and heart. You don't have to see the war to know the victory is real. I go before you. I stand behind you. I walk beside you. And I surround you completely. Some of your greatest blessings came from battles I fought in silence. So when you feel weak, when you feel like you're barely hanging on, remember, you're not holding on alone. I hold you. I protect you. I cover you in my strength. You are not defenseless. You are not vulnerable. You are not exposed. You are covered in my love. You are surrounded by my presence. And you are protected by my name. So rest now, not because the world is gentle, but because I am mighty. You are safe, because I am still fighting for you. My child, there are moments when guilt clings to your heart like a heavy fog, when you replay your mistakes, your failures, the things you said and wish you hadn't. You whisper to yourself, maybe I've gone too far. Maybe I've disappointed him too deeply. But let me speak this truth into that fog. Your failure does not cancel my love. Your stumble does not scare me away. I don't flinch when you fall. I don't recoil when you sin. I don't stand back and say, fix yourself before you come close. No, I move closer every time because I'm not the accuser. I'm the restorer. You see shame. I see a son or daughter in need of grace. You see the mess. I see the moment to remind you who you really are. Even when you walk away, I follow with mercy. Even when you try to hide, I find you with compassion. My love isn't a reward for your good behavior. It's an anchor in your worst moments. So don't avoid me when you feel unworthy. That's when you need me most. Don't let the voice of guilt drown out my invitation to come home. My arms are open, not because you did everything right, but because I already paid the price for everything that went wrong. Return, child, not with perfection, but with honesty, not to prove yourself, but to let me embrace you. You are still mine, even now, even here, and nothing can separate you from my love. My beloved child, you've asked me for forgiveness, again and again, for words you regret, for thoughts that haunt you, for choices you wish you could undo. And I want you to hear this today, not as a vague comfort, but as a holy declaration from my heart to yours. I have not only forgiven you, I have made you new. The stain you keep seeing, I've washed it clean. The past you keep revisiting, I've already buried it in grace. The name you keep calling yourself, I've replaced it with something better. You are not your failure. You are not your shame. You are not the label others gave you, or the one you gave yourself in your darkest moment. You are redeemed. You are restored. You are made new. I did not die so that you could live in guilt. I rose again so that you could live in freedom. So stop defining yourself by who you used to be. Let me reintroduce you to who you are now, a child of light, a vessel of mercy, a new creation clothed in hope. The past may remind you, but it no longer defines you. My love is not a bandage. It is a resurrection. Let today be the day you stop carrying the old. Let your hands open wide to receive the new. New peace, new clarity, new purpose. The page is turned. The ashes are behind you, and beauty is rising. Walk in it, child, unashamed, unburdened, unbound. For I am not just a God who forgives. I am the God who makes all things new, especially you. My child, I know you want answers. You want to know why things happen the way they did. You want to understand the delays, the detours, the disappointments. You've asked me, why now? Why not then? Why this way? And I hear every question, but I also see what you cannot. So today, I invite you to rest in this simple, sacred truth. You don't have to understand everything. To trust that I'm leading you somewhere good. You see a moment. I see the whole story. You see confusion. I see construction. You see a closed door. I see the hallway that leads to something far better. Sometimes I withhold the why, so that you'll hold tighter to the who. And child, I am the who. I am the one who goes before you, who works all things for good, who makes beauty from ashes and miracles from messes. You do not need to figure it all out. You just need to keep walking with me. There will be days when nothing makes sense. But even then, especially then, I am still working. Behind the scenes, beneath the surface, within your soul. You may not understand the path, but you can still trust the guide. You may not see what's ahead, but you can rest knowing I do. So release the pressure to have all the answers. Let go of the fear that you're falling behind. You are right where you need to be because I'm right here with you. I'm not asking for certainty. I'm asking for trust. Step by step, breath by breath, I will lead you and you will not be lost. My child, you've walked through dry seasons, times when joy felt far, when prayer felt empty, when your soul felt tired of hoping. You've looked at your life and thought, there's nothing left here. No growth, no breakthrough, no sign of change. But let me whisper something sacred into that dry ground of your heart. I do my best work in the wilderness, and I will bring rivers where you thought there'd only be dust. You may feel barren, but I see roots still alive beneath the surface. You may feel forgotten, but I see the ground trembling, ready to break open with life. I am not limited by what looks dead. I specialize in resurrection. I turn deserts into gardens. I turn droughts into streams. I take the very places that seemed abandoned and fill them with my glory. So don't despise the dry place. It's where I'm teaching you to drink from me, not from applause, not from certainty, not from comfort, but from my spirit, pure, deep, sustaining. Your soul is not dry because I've left. It's dry because I'm preparing you to thirst for something more eternal. And I promise, you will be filled. Soon, the barren field will bloom. The cracked places will soften. And the tears you've cried in secret will water a harvest greater than you imagined. Keep trusting even here, especially here, because I am the living water, and I never run dry. My child, I remember the dreams you buried in silence, the prayers you whispered when no one else was around, the promises you held on to long after others stopped believing. I saw when you let go of something dear, not because you didn't care, but because you trusted me more. You released it into my hands with trembling faith, saying, "If it's your will, Lord," and then walked away, quietly, obediently, with tears still fresh. And I want you to know, not one dream placed in my hands has been forgotten. I carry them. I protect them. I grow them in places you cannot see. Sometimes I delay not to deny you, but to deepen you, to ensure that what I give won't just bless you for a moment, but for eternity. You thought, maybe it wasn't meant to be. But I say, maybe it's still being written. You question, did I waste my hope? But I say, no hope in me is ever wasted. Even what you gave up, what you thought you lost forever, can be resurrected in my timing. Because I don't just restore, I multiply, I refine, I bring beauty from ashes and meaning from waiting. So don't stop dreaming, child. Don't stop praying. Don't stop believing. If it's in my hands, it's in good hands. And what I've promised, I will fulfill in a way that will leave you in awe. My beloved child, I know this world can be cold. I know what it's like when hearts grow distant, when voices turn harsh, when rooms once filled with laughter feel empty. You've walked into spaces where you didn't feel welcome. You've shared pieces of your soul, only to be misunderstood, dismissed, or even rejected. You've wondered, do I belong anywhere? And today, I want to answer that question with no hesitation. Yes, you belong. You belong with me. You always have. Before anyone accepted or rejected you, I had already chosen you. Before they invited you in or pushed you out, I had already made space for you. You are not too much. You are not too complicated. You are not too broken to be embraced. In my arms, you are safe. In my presence, you are home. This world may assign worth by status, perfection, or performance, but I see worth in your being, your breath, your beautiful, beating heart that still hopes even after hurt. You don't need to change to belong here. You just need to come. Bring the mess. Bring the questions. Bring the longing to be seen, known, and held. Because here, with me, there is no striving, only stillness, no performance, only presence. You belong not because you fit someone's mold, but because you were made by me, for me. So come home, child, not to a place, but to a person. To me, your forever place of belonging. My dearest child, come close now. Let every fear grow quiet. Let every anxious breath slow. You've carried so much, tried so hard, and held on through storms that few others could see. But now, just for this moment, let me hold you. No words, no effort, just rest. You are safe here. You are loved here. You are seen fully, truly, endlessly. There's nothing about you that surprises me. I know the story you carry, the silent heartbreaks, the invisible victories, the prayers you whispered at 2 a.m. And I say to you now, I bless you. I bless the road ahead of you. I bless the quiet places of your heart that are still waiting for answers. You do not walk into tomorrow alone. I go before you. I walk beside you. I surround you with my presence. No mistake disqualifies you. No scar disfigures you. No detour disorients me from your destiny. I am not finished with you, not even close, because your future is still held firmly in my hands. So lift your eyes, not in fear, but in faith. What lies ahead will not crush you. It will complete you. What waits for you is not punishment, but promise. You have endured much, and you have trusted me in the dark. Now watch as I unfold light all around you. Let the old things go. Let regret rest. Let hope rise. And as you go, never forget this truth. You are never alone, and you never will be. I am with you. I am for you, and I always will be.